Hello, my name is Chester Kalesa, and I'm both the chairman and secretary of the Greenfield Township Historical Society. And I'd like to welcome you to join the Historical Society. We're always looking for members. An individual annual membership is only $10. For a family, it's $15, and a lifetime membership is $100. And we can provide that information to you. If you want to visit us online, we're at greenfieldtownshipsupervisors.org, where you can get information on the Historical Society. I'd like to show you some of the aspects of the Historical Society. We have here in front of the schoolhouse is our little free library, and this is open to any visitors who would like to come for a book. Normally what we ask you for is to bring a book and drop a book off and then take a book. So that way we keep the library going. We also have some books in storage so that we change the number of books that we have over the season, so that we have seasonal books on the holidays and summer reading, also books for children, and there's novels, and there's also other books as well. Now we could take a walk into the schoolhouse here. This is our 1850 Carpenter Schoolhouse number 6, and we can take a walk in here and you can see what it looks like. The schoolhouse is open today. Well, welcome to the interior of our schoolhouse. As I said, this is an 1850 schoolhouse, Carpenter School number 6. And you see here that this schoolhouse was open to the children of this area. And notice that the desks, there's some of them that are very small, some are larger, because you would have had a mixture of different ages and grades within the schoolhouse, this one-room schoolhouse. So the teacher would have been up here at the front, and then we have the blackboard here as well. There's a number of features in the schoolhouse. Over here we have our show and tell. Sometimes near the end of the week, maybe on Friday, the teacher would be able to pull out different drawers and they would be able to pass them around and have a show and tell of different subject matters. There's also a globe here, and there's a number of portraits on the walls. President Lincoln, our 16th president, and also President George Washington, our first president. And you notice that the schoolhouse is heated by a wood stove that's in the center of the building. It's centrally located so that heat would radiate throughout the room. And we have a cardboard box here with some wood that would have been used to supply the fuel for the wood furnace. We have a bookshelf on the back of the room, and then also a clock on the back wall. A number of the desks have books on them that are in our collections, so we've used the surface of the desk for the presentation of the book. You notice that there's 6 windows in the schoolhouse. We also have shades. We try to keep the shades drawn to protect the interior of the schoolhouse. Sunlight can be damaging to collections, so that's why we have the shades in here. And you notice there's no electric lighting in the building. We have on the walls, we have kerosene lamps. And the kerosene lamps have a reflector behind them, and that will enhance the amount of light that the flame from the kerosene is putting out on the upper chimney of the lamp. And of course we have the American flag up above the blackboard on the left, so that the children can say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. Welcome to the Greenfield Township Historical Museum. We're going to go inside shortly to look at some of the exhibits. This museum was opened in 2016 for the 200th anniversary of Greenfield Township. The museum has a number of different topical sections that visitors can view. This is a section of painting of barns. As many people know, Greenfield Township was a rural agricultural area just north of the mining areas of the anthracite region. But you see a number of artists here like Richard Muehlheisen and Carol Moreau have done paintings of barns which are very beautiful. And that's one thing about barns, they need to be documented because they're disappearing from the landscape. They're falling apart, and it's interesting that we're preserving that here at the Historical Society. Now, I also want to point out, here's an interesting object. This is from Clara Gardner. This is a negligee that was made from a World War II parachute in the Philippines. It was a gift from Lieutenant Vernon Grosvenor of the 13th Air Force, and his sister was Clara Gardner, who donated it to the museum, and Clara is still active with the museum today. This is the dress uniform of Sergeant Eric Slobodnik, who was killed in the Iraqi War, and this is a poem that he created, I Will Fight for You. And this was written on the back of an August 18, 2004 prayer sheet and found on October 1, 2005 among his papers. So we're very honored, deeply honored to have this uniform and this frame piece of Eric W. Slobodnik, a true American hero. We have a pump organ originally in the Hickory Ridge Methodist Episcopal Church. This was given by Tom Rivenberg, the grandson of Minnie Rivenberg, and we have it on display here at the museum. And then what you see on the, this is also a quilt that was done. This is in front of the organ here that you have. So this is another piece that was done that shows the schoolhouse that we're in right now. So that's actually a folk art piece, a quilted piece. I wanted to point out this voting machine that we've preserved. This is the way people voted before we had electronic or mail-in voting. This was last used in the November 2005 election. So right now it's over 20 years old, and you can see that people would come into the booth, they would turn this handle to close the curtain area so it would be a private vote, and then when they were leaving, well, they would make their tabulations in here who they were voting for, and then when they were leaving and they would pull the handle, then the votes would register. So then that way there would be a vote count that would be collected from the county by all these voting machines throughout Lackawanna County. This is a section that we have on some of the photographs of churches in Greenfield Township. What interests me is here we have the township corners of Route 247 and Route 106 into Carbondale, which is the four corners of life, so that we had the cemetery over here, the church, and then we had the beer garden or the saloon, and then the poorhouse over on this corner. So this is how we got the four corners of life in Greenfield Township, which we're famous for. We just talked about the four corners of life in Greenfield Township on the church photographs, but here you see this is a newspaper article from Sunday, September 11th, 2022 by Chris Kelly, and he's talking about there's new plans through PennDOT to round off those four corners. So what would be the corners of 247 and 106? There would be a roundabout constructed there. So it would change the character of what Greenfield Township is known for, but the reason for that is that it would be safer for drivers. One of the wonderful collections that we have here at the Greenfield Township Historical Society Museum is a year-by-year collection of school class photographs, and they're all labeled, so we go from 1919 up to this date of 1958. So you see we have the students for their class photos all through the years, and also some of their trips to Washington, D.C. are depicted as well. We also have a very fine collection of photographs on Newton Lake. Here you see them all depicted. The lake is a popular destination for people. I even remember as a boy, my friends, the Olendike family, they had a cottage at Newton Lake. I would come up in the summertime to swim in the lake and to play. So I have good memories of Newton Lake as well. And we're standing at the Greenfield Township Veterans Memorial, and this large monolith that you see here, this is dedicated to the Greenfield Honor Roll of township residents who served in World War II, and all of their names are listed here. We also have all the branches of the service: the U.S. Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, and the U.S. Coast Guard. So this was dedicated on November 11th, 2023. The whole memorial that you see here was designed by Joseph Slobodnik, and I think he did a beautiful job. This is a very beautiful memorial. On top of all of the stonework that you see are various veterans that are listed over time, and we have a number of different services and time periods of American history represented. And as you see along the stone pathways, there are benches that people can be seated to contemplate about the memorial. So I think we're very fortunate to have this here in Greenfield Township.
So as part of Greenfield Day, we're also featuring the Veterans Memorial. We have a fundraiser for the Veterans Memorial as well as selling stones. So the memorial was built a couple years ago, and it was solely funded by donations and by the township. So in order to maintain it and keep the maintenance and keeping the memorial, we need to raise funds. So one of the ways we're doing that is by having stones available for purchase. You can purchase one for a family member or yourself, and it's just a way to honor our military. And we still have some stones available. And if you're interested in purchasing a stone during Greenfield Day today, you can come see us. I can tell you all about it. We've got pictures. Or you could go online to greenfieldtownshipsupervisors.org/park, and you can download the form and fill it out and just send it in. Hi, I'm Patty Apostolakis, and this is the Greenfield Township Community Park and Veterans Memorial. Here we are today standing next to the playground that we envisioned back in October 2023 when we were awarded a grant from DCNR. This could not have happened without the support from the Greenfield Township Supervisors, the Park Committee, volunteers, and donations from local businesses. I would like to recognize and thank Ed and Chris Lubosh for leading the playground project, from bringing in the vendor, picking out the colors, organizing the install and mulching, to painting the bright hopscotch game on the sidewalk. And Ed's not done yet. His next project focus is sponsorship benches for the park. Ed, I'm so grateful for you jumping in and taking the lead. This new playground area and the entire park, including the Veterans Memorial, will be a pleasant reminder of our community's commitment to work and play together in Greenfield Township. Thank you.
Hi, I am Cheryl Kaiser, the photoarchaeologist, and am excited to be working with Greenfield Historical Society and a lot of individual families and memory keepers about all the our legacy in photos, videos, audios, because we've all seen the news, and it's something I've always been passionate about. And finally, as time has gone on, there's so many good resources now to help families have something be passed down. It breaks my heart to hear of, well, we didn't know who were in the pictures, so we tossed them out, or organizations that sell an old building and someone buys it and throws away a lot of old photos or old movies. And of course, we've all seen the news too, that people say the first thing that happens, they're going to run out of the house, they're going to grab all their photos. So I work with families to get them in a safe spot on archival storage, both physically and digitally. And it's absolutely wonderful to see an organized collection that can be shared with not just friends and family today, or in the case with the Historical Society, sharing it with the community, but to be able to have a legacy to pass down to all different branches of the family. My experience has been that photo collections, family photo collections, are passed from the oldest to the oldest to the oldest. So when there's 3 other kids in the family or 5 others, they don't have access to those photographs that are in the family collection. And this way, with a forever storage platform, they can share it for generations with multiple sides of the family. And that's exciting. It's even helped me to be able to connect with second and third cousins who none of us knew each other existed. And now we're connected because we have pictures of our great-grandparents, and we can all share them now. So it's a wonderful opportunity to work with families and organizations to help them preserve their legacy for future generations.
Kyle Derko, the chief of Greenfield Township Fire Company. We'll talk about our frontline apparatus here. This is a 2015 KME with a 2,000 gallon a minute hail pump on it. This truck is set up to be a rescue pumper, along with all the pump and the hose components. We also have this rescue compartment here that carries hydraulic spreaders and cutters, along with a portable unit that can be used to go over embankments or longer distances. Cribbing also involved in this truck here. And you see the officer's compartment with all the different connections inside of it. Inside the truck, there is 5 air pack seats and the driver's seat. Each air pack seat, we're running a Scott air pack. This truck carries about 1,000 feet of 5-inch hose on the top, along with another 900 feet of 3-inch supply hose. It has 4 cross lays for quick deployments. They're each 200 feet long, 2.5 and 1 3/4 inches.